Good day, everyone. I will be going to share to you about the Puritan Age or the Age of Milton that ranges from 1620 to 1660. If you're going to understand what Puritan literature is, you need to know a thing or two about Puritanism. Both rose to popularity in the 17th century in the New York, England area of the United States. Puritanism, as a religious movement, believed in cleansing the church of all its remaining Roman Catholic ties. Its followers, the Puritans, lived by a moral and a religious code that not only influenced their own lives but sought to impact the lives of everyone around them. Even today, one of the simplest ways to impact the lives of people around the world is through the written word. Puritans understood that and undertook it with the goal of honoring God and the Bible through their work. Not surprisingly, authors of Puritan literature were deeply religious and wrote in such a way to make God become easier for everyone to understand and more relevant in their day-to-day lives. Accordingly, during Puritan's period, books for children were influenced by Puritan ideas. They stressed the fear of God, religious instruction, and preparation for that which does not enjoy by children. So, going back to their historical background, after the death of James I in 1625, the new monarch Charles I took religious persecution to a new level. Puritans came to American land in search of religious freedom from the Anglican Church or the High Church and the persecution of the Puritans under the king and queen of the time. The first Puritan or pilgrim settlement is at Plymouth, and the Puritans had a huge role in crystallizing the American life. Their imported notions regarding religion and enlightenment from the bedrock of new settlement culture. In routine life, there were activities like governance, trading, and farming. The most prominent writer of the age in England was John Milton, with works like Paradise Lost. Puritan age literature themes are the common themes include religious and political idealism. There is also insistence on practicalism and pragmatism of day-to-day life. The religious discourse emphasizes the concept of predestination and inevitability of sin and a strong sense of guilt and shame. And there is a heavy usage of symbolism, especially from the religious scripture. Puritan literature characteristics is that Puritan literature was direct and focused on offering instruction from a biblical point of view. So, however, there were many other central characteristics. So, let's take a look at some of them. We have Puritan literature relied on a first-person narrative. Puritan authors approached writing from a personal point of view, with many of their writings coming in the form of journals, diaries, and day-to-day experiences. So by writing from a first-person perspective, thoughts are conveyed from the author speaking about him or herself. Puritan literature relied on a religious rather than an entertainment theme. Puritans didn't believe in writing for entertainment, rather, they thought of writing as a tool to reach people with the story of God. So works focus on realistic messages, illustrating the idea that everyone was born a sinner and that his or her salvation had been predetermined, or a concept known as predestination. Puritan literature also relied on specific genres. Taking into account the first-person narrative and religious focus, most Puritan literature took the form of a sermon, poem, letter, or historical narrative. There was often an underlying purpose to these types of communication, illustrating their values and the importance of the Bible and God in their daily lives. Next is we have Puritan literature relied on a simple style of writing. Puritans lived simple lives, so it stands to reason that their style of writing would mimic the same pattern. So Puritan authors used direct and simple language and sentence structure to convey their point, shunning the more elaborate style of writing that was popular in many circles at that time. So next, we have Puritan literature relied on biblical allusions. Biblical allusions or references to biblical events or characters were used heavily in Puritan writing. Many authors would compare themselves or current struggles to hardships endured by characters illustrated in the Bible. Puritan literature also relied on fear. So in many works, author relies on the reader's sense of fear about God and hell to effect change in the reader's minds and souls. So by using fear to reach the readers, the author thought there was better potential for change. After all, sinners who did not conform to the religious beliefs were believed to be headed for an eternity of torment in hell. Alright. So to sum up, who are the Puritans? So they are the members of a religious reform movement. And what was Puritans' influence literature? So Puritans held deep religious beliefs based on their own perspective of Christianity. So with that, at that time, the content of school books was influenced by Puritan beliefs that children were inclined to evil and need to be taught morals. So with that also, it is very important for us future educator to give ideas to our children, especially the importance of literature, because it provides students opportunities to respond to literature. It gives students appreciation about their own cultural heritage as well as those of others. So that would be all about the Puritan Age or the Age of Milton. So thank you and God bless us all.